Hi there, it's Elisa, and I am back today to talk about our first type of self-care, which is physical self-care. So if you haven't watched the first video in this series, the introduction, you may want to go back and watch that. And you will see that I introduced you in that video to the 6 types of self-care that we're going to be talking about in this new series. So here we are today, and we are looking at the first one. So physical self-care is really the most basic form of self-care and the most important because it is exactly what it sounds like, taking care of our bodies, ensuring that our bodies are healthy and we are fueling our body with the right types of food, and staying hydrated with water. All of those types of physical needs fall under this first type. So you'll see that physical self-care looks like a lot of different things you would probably expect, right? Like I just mentioned, eating regularly, eating healthy foods, staying hydrated with water, exercising, but then maybe some that you wouldn't think about maybe quite as much. So ensuring that you are getting not only preventative medical care, but then also medical care when you're sick and you're taking time off of work. This is something that as teachers is so hard to do, right? Because so often it's just easier to go into work, even when you're not feeling 100%, versus doing all that you have to do to prepare for a substitute teacher, and then keeping your fingers crossed that there is a substitute teacher for your class. But it's really important that we are taking care of our bodies, getting the medical care that we need, getting enough sleep. I know so many of these are so hard for us, right? But then it's also things like making sure you get outside in the sunshine and get, your daily dose of vitamin D, wearing clothes that make you feel good about yourself and comfortable, limiting your caffeine intake. I know that can be hard. Following a routine, so setting a routine, following it, having some sort of skincare regimen, organizing your space so you feel good in the space that you're working in. So it really is a little bit broader than what we would probably think about just kind of off the top of our head when we hear the term, caring for our physical body or physical self-care. But this is where it has to start. This is sort of the foundation of these 5 other types that we're going to be talking about. And obviously, taking care of our body has so many other health benefits also, and it's really going to aid in our emotional or mental health, make us feel happier in our job, in the workplace. So it really is the foundation. It really is where we have to begin. So I'm going to leave you just with a couple of questions or things to think about. Looking at this list, what are you doing really, really well with? And what are you doing not so well with? I know I mentioned this in the first video that this is actually the one self-care type that I had a B in when I took the assessment that I was telling you all about. This is one that I really feel very strongly about, and I sort of make a lot of time for. And for instance, going to my exercise classes, those are like non-negotiables for me. It's all sorts of sort of unravels for me in the other 5 that are coming up that we'll talk about. But there are a lot of people out there that, it's unraveling for you right here in this first type. So what is something quick that you can change today? That's where you need to start. What is something that you can change today from this list, that will kind of help you get on the right track with physical self-care? So take a look at the list. Where are you doing well? Where are you not doing so well? And what is one change that you can make right now, that will make, an impact? So for me, even though this was one of the categories, or not one of the category that I was doing well in. Something that I've committed to this year is making sure that I have, go in for all of the routine preventative care visits that I need to do. And I'm fairly good about that, but there were a lot that were kind of due because, I turned 40 last September. And so with that comes a lot of, different tests and visits that you need to go to. And so that was sort of where I started. I set aside time to make all of those appointments and seek out the people that I needed so that I could kind of have a leg up in that area. But for you, maybe it's something totally different. But what is something that will make a big impact on your physical self-care? And start there. You have to take it one piece at a time. Don't look at this list and think, oh my gosh, I'm not doing any of those, and that's overwhelming, and throw in the towel, right? Just pick one thing. So hopefully that sounds doable to you. And so give that a try for a week or two, and then meet me right back here next time where we're going to move into our second self-care type, and we're just going to work our way through all 6. And it'll be set up sort of the same way. Like, what does each of these self-care types look like? And what are some small steps that you can take to make some changes? So this one was the easy one for me, but I will be right there working alongside you in the next 5, because if you remember correctly, I have D's and F's in the next 5 self-care types. So I'm right there with you. I will be right there on this journey with you, and we will kind of do it together. So I will see you right back here next time for our second self-care type.